local, late breaking. This is WDSU News at noon.
2 people are dead, 2 children dead after a fire raced through their Belle Chase mobile home overnight. 3 adults also hospitalized. Thanks for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Gina Swanson. WDSU reporter Heath Allen is live at the scene of the fire. And Heath, investigators still working to determine what started the flames.
That's absolutely correct. This fire started in an unoccupied area of this mobile home here in the 11,800 block of Belle Chase Highway. Happened last night. It really took everyone by surprise. State fire officials, after their investigation, say the family actually tried to escape as a group. There were 5 of them, and somewhere along the way, a 9-year-old boy, a girl, and a 7-year-old boy, they got lost in the shuffle, apparently, some kind of way, and they perished in the fire. At this point, fire officials are still trying to determine exactly what caused it. There's some question at this point even as to whether or not there were working smoke detectors in the house. But at any rate, folks who saw the fire, heard about it, they are stunned.
It's like crazy. It's like, I hope the people are right, you know?
Actually, the two children died in that fire.
No. What? Man, that's bad.
At this time, we still have not come across any evidence of smoke detectors. However, we are being told that there were smoke detectors in the home and that there was a recollection of hearing them going off throughout the chaos. So at this time, we'll just say that we're still working on determining that.
So the fire actually began in an unoccupied room at the time, and the investigators at this point believe it was somehow electrical in origin. They're still working to determine exactly what. And at this point, the Plaquemine Parish Coroner's Office has done autopsies this morning, and sometime early this afternoon, they'll release the identification of 2 small children that were killed in this tragic fire. Guys, back to you.
Heath, thank you. A school bus carrying children was involved in a crash this morning in the 9th Ward. The accident happened near the corner of North Galvez and Poland just about 7 o'clock. One man says that his daughter, niece, and nephew were all on board the school bus at the time. He says his daughter was not injured, but the other 2 did complain of some pain. We did reach out to the NOPD, who tells us no official injury reports were made. A man is fighting for his life right now after being shot in Harvey. This happened sometime just about midnight on Peters Road. Jefferson Parish deputies tell us he has life-threatening injuries, and they are not releasing his name just yet. No word on a suspect in this case. Well, expect traffic near the convention center to be worse than usual. We have a significant road closure to tell you about. Convention Center Boulevard completely closed from Julia to Calliope for much of this week. WDSU's Jennifer Crockett live there now with the reason why. Jennifer.
Well, Gina, good afternoon. This area of Convention Center Boulevard is already under construction, but it'll be closed this week, specifically through Thursday night, because there's a big convention in town. The Tableau Conference is expected to bring 20,000 attendees to the Morial Convention Center for the data analysis and software meetings. To keep those visitors safe, Convention Center Boulevard from Julia Street to Calliope is closed through 8 p.m. Thursday, and that means a lot of commuters will be detouring on side streets around the Warehouse District to try to get either to the interstate or to the French Quarter. The construction that's happening here will convert Convention Center Boulevard from Poydras to Henderson Street to a public park. That's expected to be complete in 2 years. But for the closure that's happening now, there are police officers posted at side streets where you cannot turn and helping to direct traffic.
We're from out of state and we don't know where we're going, so it's just kind of shooting in the wind.
And of course, we have seen a lot of that. I'm facing the other direction now so that you can see the traffic that's here. A lot of people walking to the convention center now. There are about 20 extra police officers here that are directing traffic, trying to keep it flowing. But if you can avoid Convention Center Boulevard this week through Thursday night, do it at all costs. Reporting live in the Warehouse District, I'm Jennifer Crockett, WDSU News.
Jennifer, thank you. Another traffic alert to pass along. This one in Hammond. There was an emergency road closure on Louisiana Highway 441. Parts of that roadway will be completely shut down to replace cross drains. The road is expected to reopen Thursday at 5. You may notice Sewage and Water Board crews are paving roads across the city this week as part of the agency's plan to get rid of the more than 4,000 pothole backlog on our streets right now. The agency is looking to permanently correct underground pipe repair related potholes. When crews finish the work, they typically fill the holes with gravel. Well, starting today, crews will be back to each hole and to pave it for a smooth finish. Officials say this is just one step of many to improve customer relations. Power now restored to Dillard University, and students have resumed classes there. A massive power outage happened overnight on 2 campuses, and crews worked throughout the night to turn the lights back on. The university opened the student union so that students could charge their phones and take hot showers. Entergy said the outage was due to an issue with an underground cable. Well, after a scabies scare last week, Ben Franklin is now reopened. Officials closed the Nashville and Lakefront campuses due to a possible exposure. The school was already set to have its fall break last week. During that time, crews worked to sanitize the buildings. Students resumed classes this morning. All right, a live look outside on your Monday afternoon. So far, so good in terms of getting the work week started. Meteorologist Quaylen Murphy is here with your forecast. Quaylen.
Hey, Gina, good afternoon. 12:05, a nice fall feel out there. We go from the city view to our North Oaks Medical Center camera view in Hammond. That's where temperatures started in the 40s this morning. Of course, we have warmed up a bit this afternoon, and we're seeing those temperatures climb. Hammond has recovered to 68 degrees, 69 in Kenner, some 70s popping in at the Lakefront Airport, Boothville at 79, and 70s from Grand Isle to Houma, Gulfport at 71 degrees, still upper 60s for Slidell. Lots of clouds out there. We're seeing some breaks, but generally a mainly cloudy sky and some offshore spotty showers. Not expecting a whole lot in terms of rainfall today. Breezy conditions at times throughout the day, 5 to 10, maybe even 15 miles per hour out of the northeast. Drier air continues, so that fall feel will continue through the afternoon. Middle and upper 70s possible for a few spots along the coast, but generally lower 70s for the afternoon hours. A 10% chance of showers. They start to pick up a little bit more overnight with temperatures dropping down into the 50s. Expecting this week below average temperatures, a chance for showers at 50% Tuesday. Wednesday will be drier, but then we ramp the rain chances up on Thursday with some locally heavy rainfall possible and maybe a chance from some isolated stronger storms. It is severe weather preparedness week. We'll talk more about that potential coming up. Back to you.
All right, Quaylen, thanks. Well, thousands of migrants, mostly from Central America, continue to travel north in a caravan hoping to reach the U.S. border. President Trump says the caravan is a national emergency as he vowed to cut aid to 3 Central American nations. NBC's Mariana Atencio reports from Mexico.
Thousands of migrants from that caravan waking up here in this public park in Tapachula, Mexico. Yesterday, they walked 20 miles from the border between Guatemala and Mexico to make it here. It was a difficult road in the blazing hot sun. You saw thousands of men, women, and children, little kids trying to keep up, mothers holding their newborns in their arms. And today, caravan organizers tell us they will hold a press conference here to continue their journey north. For little kids like Cecia and Nathan and her little brothers over here, the journey toward a better life is only just beginning. This is Mariana Atencio for NBC News, Tapachula, Mexico.
Well, work crews moved train cars upright today after one of Taiwan's fastest passenger trains derailed over the weekend, killing at least 18 people and injuring more than 180 others. The train ran off the tracks late Sunday afternoon as it went around a bend, throwing train cars into a zigzag pattern with 5 left lying on their sides. A prosecutor said that the derailment was under investigation. No immediate word on the cause. Survivors say the driver had applied emergency brakes multiple times before the train derailed. Well, Australia's Prime Minister formally apologized to victims of sexual abuse by government, church, school officials. Now, during an emotional speech, Scott Morrison stood with a sex abuse survivor and his opposition leader and responded to a new report on sex abuse in Australia. The report included shocking evidence from more than 17,000 survivors. Some were there to hear the apology.
For too many years, our eyes and hearts were closed to the truths we were told by children. For too many years, governments and institutions refused to acknowledge the darkness that lay within our community.
Well, the government has accepted 104 other reports, 122 recommendations, including a payment program. The government also established a new Office of Child Safety that will report to the Prime Minister. Well, former Carolina Panthers football player Ray Caruth is a free man after spending 18 years behind bars for conspiring to kill his pregnant girlfriend. Caruth was released from the Sampson Correctional Facility in Clinton this morning. The former NFL player was convicted of hiring a hitman to shoot and kill Sharika Adams in 1999. Adams died in the hospital just about a month later. Their son Chancellor survived but suffers from permanent brain damage and cerebral palsy. Well, new details on a shooting outside of a laundromat in Jacksonville, Florida. Police believe the shooting may have been gang-related. Investigators say a suspect opened fire at an Eastside neighborhood Sunday afternoon. Officials say 5 men and a woman between the ages of 20 and 70 years old were injured. Witnesses say the shooters were on a mission to kill.
The gun was so big, the guys had to open the door, and it was a high-powered machine gun. Rifle, like the street sweepers.
Police still searching for suspects in this case. The shooting happened just about a half hour before kickoff at a nearby football field as fans were making their way to the game. Well, 2 bystanders stopped an ATM robbery in Florida last month, and it was all caught on camera. Newly released surveillance video shows the suspect approaching a car going through an ATM in Orange County. You can see the victim pulling forward a bit before stopping and struggling with the suspect. According to police, the suspect grabbed the 55-year-old woman by the neck and pulled out a box cutter, demanding her purse. When she honks her horn for help, a man runs over to the passenger window and calls over a friend. That bystander then approaches the suspect from behind and gets him away from the car. The suspect eventually took off on foot. All right, still to come at noon, a win is a win, no matter how small. We review the play that led to the Saints' victory over the Ravens ahead in sports. Plus, almost doesn't count. A California resident comes close to winning $1 billion in the Mega Millions, but was just one number short. We'll tell you about it after the break.